Question: Who's ready for a Sunday afternoon chat with Steve Young? Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Great.
hmm
Back in a minute. Being here. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Steve and I decided to come on today for a Sunday afternoon chat. It has been a while since we have done that.
hmm
Guess what, Steve? I tried something recently of food. I don't know if you heard my recent audio show. I don't know if you did or didn't, but I actually tried something. Have you ever eaten Irish Irish oatmeal?
Actually, I have. My brother-in-law is of Irish descent. He's got it in his part of his bloodline, and I have had it on a few occasions. It's pretty good. I really don't know. I really don't know what you're really gaining from that particular oatmeal versus, say, the Quaker old fashioned, which I'm used to. The only time I ever used the quick oatmeal is if I wanted to do like cookies or something. But normally, I just use the Quaker old fashioned. But I really don't know what the difference is between that and the Irish oatmeal. If somebody would tell me, I would love to know.
Well, here's what happened to me. Recently, I made an apple crisp, and normally I use like regular oatmeal on that. And then I thought I had more of that. I did not. I was like, uh-oh, I'm in the middle of putting this recipe together. But I remembered that I was blessed with a few packages of what is called steel cut oats. I'm like, what is steel
Yeah.
cut, right? So as it turns out, it's the same product. It's groat, another word for it, or Irish oatmeal. So I use that, and basically what it is, they're steel cut, they're cut in a way that the oats are much smaller, but they're also firmer, they're coarser, and they have a nuttier texture, which gave it
Oh,
more like like a crispy, great feel. That's the distinction between it. They're just like cut up a little more and more grainy and more coarser. But I was blown away by this. The moral of the story is that, you know what, to be open to change with food, like to be receptive to, you know what, so I could use this, so I swapped it out. That's one exciting thing that happened to me this week, Steve. The other exciting thing that happened to me, and I mentioned it on yesterday afternoon's video, the one that came on later in the day, is
mhm.
about repurposing my aluminum foil. Now I started doing that, not forever, but like maybe I would say about a good month and a half ago. I'm like, wait a minute. I pay good money for the heavy duty type of foil. You know the one I'm referring to, Steve. And I said, if it's not dirty, if I'm just covering a bowl or a plate or whatever, and then I take it off, there's nothing on it. Why should I take that thing and just throw it away, fling it out into the garbage? No, that is so wasteful. So I decided to do, I said, well, this is neat and clean. I folded it over. I collected. I have this big collection already in the bag. It's so hilarious. Oh my gosh. Because foil could be really expensive. Do you utilize anything yourself, or have you saved foil yourself?
Mm, Not really, but I mean, I have been known. Okay, here's one. Let's. Again, I don't like to cross contaminate either when I cook, but let's say I'm preparing more than one of one thing. It's the same thing, but I'm preparing, say, two or three, several. And if one, it gets through cooking, and I look and I peel the aluminum foil back, if it's still usable, I'll just take that aluminum and apply it to the next one that I'm about to cook.
Yes.
But I don't, that's probably the only time I have been known to wrap certain things here and there in aluminum foil to preserve. I've done that. But I don't really do a whole lot because usually with aluminum foil, once I get through with it, not in all cases, but most, I just discard it once I'm through. And the brand that I prefer to use, and you do too, let's just say that um, there's an actor who was in Smokey and the Bandit that his last name shares the same as the
And
main.
his first name happened to be Bert.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Yes, it is.
100% agree. Steve, there's a treasure, and you probably tend to agree with me on this one. There's a treasure lurking inside of our cereal boxes, but it's not like the little extra toy that you might find in a cereal box when you were a kid. The bag that's inside of a cereal box. Did you ever take notice of that bag? You know, the one you try to open, and it
Yeah,
might take a lot of effort. Steve, those bags for me feel like they're indestructible. They are so
they are.
sturdy.
They
So
are.
what I do whenever those cereals are finished, the cereal is finished, I keep those bags because what I do also is like, let's say I want to crush some cookies to make like one of your like, like the Pop Tart type thing, the pie crust, for example,
Yeah.
crush cookies, putting it in that kind of bag and smashing them. That bag doesn't break at all whatsoever.
No.
This is like, an incredible thing. So please, everybody, don't throw away those bags. Even if you're doing like, let's say you're coating chicken, egg it and flour it, and you want to shake it up
Shake
to
and bake.
coat. Yeah, there you go. That
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah. So you could utilize that. That bag is like so indestructible. Have you ever used like reused a paper plate before? Just wondering about that.
Several times. All you got to do. Um, Again, not all paper plates are the same. You got to be careful. But if you're looking at like if you get a good like Dixie quality or Chinette, I know those can be a little bit on the pricier side, but if you can get like a good Dixie quality plate or of that caliber, all you got to do is just take the plate once you're done with it, go over to your sink. Yes, I'm a Dawn and a sponge person. I don't have a dishwasher. So what I do is I'll take a couple of three dabs of Dawn, put it on my sponge, and I'll go over the plate very lightly and rinse it, and it'll come off. I've been known to reuse a good plate 4 or 5 times. Sure. Look at your mic. I don't hear you.
Up, sorry.
I was try to motion you on about somehow your mic got
Oh, that's
disconnected without
awful.
really.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
So whatever
Yeah.
you said, I didn't catch it.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry, folks. These glitches happen. You know what? I had gotten into a coughing jag when Steve was talking, so I muted me. So then I forgot to unmute me.
Oh yeah, you don't want that to come.
Okay, so you were answering about paper plates, what you do.
Yeah, because yeah, I've been known, like I said, I've been known to take a paper plate and use it up to a half a dozen times. But again, all you got to do is get a sponge and a little couple of 3 drops of Dawn, go over it lightly, rinse it, and if you want to pat dry it, you can, and just reuse it.
Yes.
No, it's not a regular, plate, like we normally use, but it does work in a pinch. No, it really does.
And what I was saying when like I was on like mute mode over there, what I was saying is, for example, if I have a piece of toast in the morning, even if there's like if I butter my toast but only crumbs from the toast get on it, I'll shake it off. But will I throw it away yet? No. Because let's say I'm reheating a piece of pizza for lunch, I'll throw it on that paper plate again. And then after that, more than likely it'll be messed up enough to just toss. If it's still workable, no dirt gets on there at all, I might get another use out of it. I think, Steve, that we are so used to disposable everything that we throw away so
Yeah.
many things way too fast. Guess what another item is that I had mentioned recently that I
Mhm.
like to use? You probably do this too, maybe. You know, like where a loaf of bread comes in, those plastic bags, the actual loaf of
Sometimes.
bread. Sometimes it's a great idea. Not that everybody does it, but it doesn't hurt. Shake them out, shake out any, remaining breadcrumb. They're usually pretty strong. And the one that's very strong is the one that comes outside of an English muffin box, and also the rye bread one. I'm just like being item specific. Those are very strong. You could reuse them for wrapping a lunch to wherever you're going one day, putting something, maybe wrapping it for meat if you ran out of freezer bags, or any other purpose that you can use. I use it for wet garbage. Like if I don't want to just throw out wet garbage just straight in a bag, I'll put it in that kind of a bag, tie a knot, make it
Mhm.
neater, and toss it out.
Mhm.
I think that we just
Um,
throw away too many things too fast.
Actually, that's something I may want to keep for future reference. Never thought. No, usually a loaf of bread bag, usually I just discard it once I'm finished with it. I never thought about throwing away. I guess you could use it like as a mini trash thingama. I guess you could do that. I never thought about that.
Even to keep in your car. Now, here's what happens, Steve. In the city and state of New York, plastic bags are banned, meaning, like when I used to go to the grocery store, I would get a plastic bag. That was a given. We miss those here. Lots. It's like a precious commodity. So people shop in other states and they see plastic bags, like, gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yeah,
We miss them a lot here. So we figure out different ways. Those bread bags are really a great option. Steve, do you remember recently that a relative of mine gave me a Ghirardelli beautiful display with
yeah,
all the stuff?
yeah.
Right. Well, guess what? That basket, I kept that beautiful basket it came in, because I could put other things in the future for, appetizers, and use that as a
You can.
future display,
Hmm.
or put other items in there and wrap it up for someone, like put a bow on it and just give it as a gift too, as a gift basket. We need to take, I don't know, be more mindful of things. We're helping to save the planet in our own little way too by not being so wasteful.
Yeah, we are. No, there's so many things. I'll tell you something else I do. Um, and it does work. You mentioned paper plates.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You can do the same thing with plastic cutlery. After you use it,
Yes.
you can wash it off with a sponge and Dawn and reuse it again.
Definitely.
No, I've been known to do that with plastic cutlery many a time. I like to do that like whenever I have like hot tea or coffees or hot chocolates or things like that. I like to use a plastic spoon a lot of the time. Not that a metal one is bad, but a lot of the time I will take a plastic spoon and I will use it for things like that. Just your simple. Let me see. As a matter of fact, I think I have one here I can show you. Yeah, your plastic cutlery. I've got one here.
They're very convenient.
But as long as you use a good antibacterial, good, decent quality dish detergent, why not?
That's really true. You know what, Steve? Another thing that a lot of people do, for example, they get takeout. And many times, like a lot of people get extra ketchups, extra salt, packages, peppers. And out of habit, they toss those. Like they just don't want to be bothered with it. I disagree with that practice. Instead, set up a separate bag for all those little condiments like that. Have you ever, collected a few ketchups or mustards or whatever?
Yes. What I do, well, not at the moment, but your cashew containers with the nuts, the big ones that you get at the wholesale club. Learned it from my mom and dad. They were bad about when they would go to a restaurant, things like that. They would get ketchup, mustard, the ramen noodle packet, uh, seasonings, soy sauce, any sweet and sour that might come from the Chinese restaurants, and put it inside of this container. That way, people don't realize that actually saves you a lot of money in the long run. That's what it's there for. They want you to take it. If they don't want
Absolutely.
if they don't want you to take it, why is it out there?
Absolutely. Well, Steve, thank you so much for your time
Hmm.
being here. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
There is something I want to ask of the viewers. Everybody, have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care. Thanks again, Steve. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye.